In all of my education classes, the prevalent philosophy was definitely the Constructivist theory of teaching and learning. This theory basically states that children will learn content better if they make their own connections to it. I also came across some other research that said that when students use graphic cognitive organizers to organize all of their information, they'll have a better chance of remembering that material for a longer time. So I just wanted to show you a really straightforward way to have children create their own graphic cognitive organizers. This method that I've come up with is just using Google Sheets to basically make a presentation. So as the kids are working on maybe a thematic unit on any subject or any topic, they would be collecting all their information and material into maybe a notebook or even a Google document, depending on how much access they have to the technology. But over time, you'd have them gather all their information and they could write it down first. And then when they have time, they could bring it into the computer lab or in your classroom if you have the technology, and then just create their own presentation where they can compile all this information into it. So for here, in this one, I have, as an example, a little presentation on the tree frogs of the rainforest. So as you can see, it's just a very basic spreadsheet. I've got some pictures of different types of frogs. And then with each slide, I have a little bio about each kind of frog, just with some fun facts. Here's the red-eyed tree frog, and you can read this if you like. And then we have some facts about the poison dart frog with more with a picture. And last but not least, we have the Mexican leaf frog. And fun fact about that is it has secretions from its back that can be used to help lower blood pressure in humans. So the neat thing about this is that students can work all individually. Every student can create their own, or you can easily set this up so that they would be working collaboratively just through sharing the document. So I just wanted to show you really quickly how you could have students work together on this. The first thing you'd want to do if you're having the students work together is to put them into a group, and then you just have one student create the document. They would create a new presentation, and then they would go into the file and click share, and then they would share this document with all of the other students that they will be working with in their group. So they would just need to know their email addresses to do that, and they would also want to set it up, the sharing preferences, so that each student has the privileges to edit the file. Once that is done, each of the students can open up the document and begin working on it together. And what's also interesting is, as a teacher, if you have the students set their documents up within the student portfolios, like I showed you in the Google Drive tutorials, then even the teacher can log in to see what the students are doing as they're working on it. So if you want to make sure that everyone's staying on task, there's no better way to do that than to surprise them by popping in and typing a little comment in there. Hey, I see what you guys are doing. Maybe you could look this up or add some more pictures about this. And then the students will know that you're keeping an eye on them. So you'll notice that when other people are editing in the document, when they have it open and are viewing, you'll see these little icons pop up. So this is the icon of just a fake student that Ed Hilton at TTUSD was nice enough to grant me access to for these tutorials. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate that. So I've shared this document with this student. And now I'm going to go ahead and make some edits to it on another computer so you can see what it looks like in real time. So I'm looking at the Mexican leaf frog, and let's say Jenny comes in here and she's editing this as well. You'll see over here on my page, you see the J pops up here. So you can now see that Jenny Smith is editing the page we are looking at. You can see her icon pop up. So when she goes in here to make some edits to the page, you'll see that when she clicks and highlights a selection, it'll pop up, and if she decides to delete it, You can watch it. It'll instantly go away right in front of your eyes. So there's a lot of different ways that students could work together on this. You could maybe assign each student to do one page in the cognitive organizer, or have one student in charge of pictures, one student in charge of making all the text, or you could have one student in charge of editing everything with the spell check and looking for grammar mistakes. You could even take turns with these projects and say 1 week you're the editor, the next week you're in charge of writing the text, the next week you're in charge of presenting it, and so on and so forth, and really gives you a lot of options that you can use to have the students collaborate with each other. Another neat collaboration tool within this is that you can still add comments to the pages. So for instance, if Jenny's working on this and she wants to make a comment that everyone else in her group can see, she could go in here and insert a comment. So on the other computer, she's highlighting this, and maybe she goes to insert a comment. So Jenny goes in here and has inserted a comment. She says, maybe we could use some more pictures. What do you guys think about that? And when she's done, she'll just select comment, and you'll see that instantly this comment pops up in my box, and I can see exactly what she said, and so can everyone else that has sharing privileges of the file. So then if I read this, I could say, hey, yeah, group, maybe we could use some more pictures. What do you guys think about that? And when everyone has talked about it or come to a decision, they can go ahead and click resolve to get rid of that. The commenting also works for the teacher side. If the teacher wants to log in and check in on what the students are doing, they can do so remotely and leave a comment to help just provide feedback for the students, such as, if there's spelling errors or corrections they need to make, the teacher could leave that comment there, and then the students could use that feedback to improve their slideshow. The last thing I want to show you that could be helpful for students making notes into their graphic cognitive organizers is they can just add notes to each page of their spreadsheet. So you see, as I click on each one, there's a note section for each, and when you type in here, you can just add little speaking notes about your presentation. So you could say, make sure you talk about what these frogs eat, and this note is attached to the slide. And then you could click notes for each of the slides, so that before you present, you could go in here and print out your slideshow with the notes, and the students could have their little speaking points attached to the slideshow so they can make sure they give a good presentation. In addition to making graphic cognitive organizers, creating these slideshows is also a great way for you to provide assessment for your students. In order to demonstrate concept mastery of the topic, the students could go up either individually or as a group and make a presentation to the class using a projector or a TV that they could link their file to. They could show this presentation to the students in their class and talk about all the slides they have developed. They could even have time for the other students to ask questions. I think giving your kids a chance to present their information is just going to further cement these connections that they've already made to the content in their mind. It's also going to show you which of the students has been working hard and has actually taken the time to learn and know the content front to back. So these are just a few of the suggestions for having students use Google Sheets to make graphic cognitive organizers. If you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them in the comments section and I'll do my best to reply to all of them. Thanks and have a good day.